What's going on, guys? Today I have another flashlight that I've been using. I want to talk about a little bit. This is the second version of the T10 from Thrunite. So this is a T10 V2. This one has a Cree XPG3 LED. All right, you can see perfectly smooth reflector. There are a couple changes in this one compared to the first version. The biggest thing is having a magnetic base. Alright, so this is magnetic, and that's actually most of the use I got during the testing of this was using that magnetic base. I was cleaning out one of my gun cabinets. I keep one specifically just for ammo and stuff and some gun accessories. And I'll insert a picture of that, but I basically use this on the inside of the cabinet because it's in a place that has zero light. So I couldn't see what I was doing. Just turn this on the high mode or the turbo mode. Double click, had this in there, and it was able to illuminate the entire cabinet so I could see what I was doing, taking out ammo cans. I was checking through some things, cleaning up some stuff, kind of organizing some things a little bit better. This flashlight was on in the turbo mode for at least an hour. I want to say maybe an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. Never flickered, never dulled down or anything, so it was working great. This runs on a single AA battery. I have a Duracell in here. All right. This is one of those ones you could check to see how much power is left. This one's still pretty much new. But yeah, just an interesting little EDC option. Quick note, when I got this, I first used it in a pouch without the pocket clip. I later put the pocket clip on, because generally speaking with the smaller lights, I don't really use the pocket clip that often, but occasionally for testing purposes I will use it. This one came and it was like this. When I put it on, it was way too loose. Like in other words, it clicks on nice, it's nice and sturdy. But the pocket clip portion of it just was loose on the pocket, so I actually take it off. You just snap on and off really easy. And I just basically crimp that together to get a tighter fit. So now it actually holds against the body how it's supposed to. Alright, so it's tighter. Because when I first put it on there, it was noticeably loose. It would move around in the pocket. So very quick, simple modification. Just pinch that together with some pliers. So now it's nice and sturdy. Side button on this one. Alright, just most of the same UI as you're going to see with any of the other Thrunites. If you hold it in the off position, hold it down, it goes to that firefly mode. Alright, and turning it on, if you hold the button down, it'll just cycle through. Alright, so basically we have low and medium, or low and high, I don't know how they actually describe that, but it's usually a double click to go to the turbo. So basically the first one's going on, when you do that quick click, it goes to the highest output, which is the turbo. In this particular case, it is 180 lumens, which is very good running on a single AA battery. I think single AA and single AAA battery lights are they're at least heavily talked about. With all the people that I talk to about flashlights, it goes one of two ways. Either people want a crazy bright light, then they're talking like 18650s, much larger flashlights, or they go the other way and they just want something that's very easily found, like a AA or a AAA. All right, so that's why something like this would be very popular, because it takes just a single AA battery. They're cheap and they're everywhere. You can get them at gas stations, hardware stores, Walmart, anywhere you go that sells batteries, they're going to have AA's. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good EDC option. The magnetic bottom is very helpful. It is a pretty strong magnet. Let's see, today I have the rock. All right, and you can see that this does support the weight of the blade. Let's see, it's not going to pick up the knife through the scales, but yeah, it'll pick it up closed. So it's supporting the weight of this light. I mean, it obviously supports itself, so you can stick this to any metal surface and it's going to stay. This is most useful. I mean, most people don't have, ammo cabinets that they have to, have lighting for. That's how I happen to use this. But I would say a lot of people might use this in the trunk of the car. Might stick it to something, some exposed metal in the trunk. If for some reason your trunk light bulb goes out, you can use this under the hood in an emergency. If you don't have a hood light, when you're driving around in the dark, your car breaks down or something, you're mechanically inclined so you can actually open the hood and know what you're looking at. That might be a useful purpose for the magnetic bottom. Just, it's pretty versatile. It's a cool little addition. I do like that the upgrades to this, the version 2 is better than the first one. The only negative with this one, and it is a negative for me, only because I noticed stuff like this, but outside, I did not notice this at all. When I first started using it, I used it outside. And when I used it in the gun cabinet, I didn't notice it either. But just in playing around with this, you're not going to be able to tell because I have this you know, tablecloth down. But I'm gonna switch the camera to the wall for a second to show you what I don't like about this one. All right, so I have all the lights off. I'm probably about a foot away from the wall right now. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to pick this up in the video, but first I'm gonna turn on the Moonlight Mode here. And looking through the viewfinder, it's hard to see, but in person I've noticed when I'm just you know, flashing this on a solid wall that I can actually see the yellowing color from the LED in the center of the beam. Now again, you know, looking through the viewfinder, it looks totally normal if I back up. I have to actually bring the camera back a little bit so I don't get that shadow. But if I back up and turn it up a little bit, maybe this will help. Not really. It's very difficult to see, but in person, the center of the beam is a little bit yellowed. It almost looks like a fried egg. Honestly, it's just a white circle with a yellow center. Let's try it on a higher mode. Yeah, the higher it goes, the more it blows out, and it's harder to actually see that. It's unfortunate I can't actually show you, but it's just something I've noticed. I've never seen that in a flashlight before, where the center of the beam was just a little bit yellowed. I'm not sure how that's reflecting to actually pick up the yellow in the LED, but it's just something that I happen to notice, so it's worth mentioning. But more specifically on the higher modes, and definitely when you're outside, because you're not necessarily shining against a flat, you know, white surface or off-white surface, it's gonna be very hard to detect. But I have like a, you know, off-white color on my walls in my house, and when I get flashlights, the first thing I do is just kind of flash it around the room to see what the beam looks like. And it's just something I picked up right away with. So if you're using this outside, probably not an issue. If you're mostly using this indoors and large, you know, surfaces like that, it might be something that you see. It might be an annoyance, but like I said, it's definitely worth mentioning. So that's pretty much the only negative I've found with this light. This one specifically, I don't know if it's this model or this exact light that has that issue. Of course, if you guys have the V2 versions of the T10, please let me know if your beam looks like that as well, because I only have one to compare, so I can't compare. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's a negative. For most people, it's something you probably wouldn't even notice, to be honest. But this one came in a tin. As far as accessories, regular paper. The pocket clip, obviously, it wasn't attached to it, but I ended up putting it on. Some spare O-rings. Did not come with the battery. I did supply the battery. I'll give you a quick shot of the Runtimes and Output. All right, so there's some tech specs you can see. Firefly, half a lumen. All right, low is 5 lumens, medium's 35 lumens, and high is 180 lumens. All right, there is a strobe mode as well. I don't think I showed that before, but just like most Thrunites, once it's on, double click to get to the high, but if you double click a second time, that's when you get to that strobe mode. So it's a hidden strobe mode. Although it's not that hard, it's just 4 clicks from off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you need it in emergency. I mean, with any flashlight, if you're carrying it, you should kind of remember that mode, just in case an emergency pops off. You're not going to really be prepared and go, oh, wait a minute, what was that? You have to kind of just have muscle memory. So holding and using the same light all the time is very helpful for that. But for most people, they're not using strobe, so it's kind of out of the way. It's not like you have to cycle through it. So that's pretty much it. This flashlight sells for 20 bucks. I think for $20, it is very competitive. It does offer a lot. For me personally, I was put off by just that beam pattern. I really wish I can show it better on camera, but it's just the tiniest bit. Like this distance here, I don't know, 12 inches or so. It's probably a penny size yellow dot in the middle of my hand. Now looking through the viewfinder, it just looks like my hand is lit up. You can't see that yellow. But in person, it's ever so slightly there, but it is noticeable. All right, so if you're doing a lot of close-up or indoor work with your flashlights, you might want to check something else out. But again, I would love the feedback from you guys. If you have this light, what does your beam pattern look like? All right, because this one is just a little bit off, but still fully functional. Outside, you can't notice it, and on the high, you know, full 180 lumens, it kind of blows it out. It's not very noticeable. But just little things like that do bother me. Because I've used so many different flashlights and I'm used to so many different, you know, beam patterns and, you know, different flashlights for different purposes, but a little EDC light, it's not a huge deal for some people. Other people, it would be super annoying and it would definitely be off-putting enough where they wouldn't even want to bother with it. But I do think it has some cool features for 20 bucks. So let me know what you guys think of it. Let me know, again, specifically if you have it, what yours looks like. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.